Preparing to live stream the meeting. Redirect to YouTube, and there we are.
I love that. Okay. On my system, when I put in my email, it says Fiverr Guy as my name. I've never called myself Fiverr Guy. I don't know where it came from. Very bizarre.
You're live now, by the way.
All right, good. I like being live.
Okay, I'm gonna hit the record button.
All right.
Record on this computer. And kick her off anytime, there, Ray.
All right. Meeting is being recorded. Got it. Meeting is being live streamed. Got it.
I'll have a few updates too. So,
all right.
I can do right after the jingle.
So let's do it. All right. Here we go. In 5, 4, 3. On today's episode of Video Marketing Madness, we're going to discuss how to do I almost said live again, so you got me saying live.
How to do interview shows on YouTube, or how to do YouTube interview shows.
All right, here we go. In 5, 4, 3. On today's episode of Video Marketing Madness, we're going to discuss doing business interviews as content for your YouTube channel and other places, I guess, as well. And today's episode is made possible by people that can help you to do that even better. We're talking about our good friends over at Movo, who make all sort of great things for your videos, from microphones to stands to lights and everything in between. In fact, if you shoot with just your smartphone, they've got entire rigs that will turn your smartphone into a full shooting experience. That's right, an experience. How do you like that? I like experience.
An experience. I like experience. I was a big fan of the Jimi Hendrix experience.
Were you? Nice. Well, that's good.
Thank you.
That's good. That's a different experience.
It is.
But if you want to have a good video experience, well, head on over to Movo and check out all the great things they have there by heading on over to raislinks.com/Movo. M-O-V-O. Movo. And with that, let's hit the music.
Okay, hold on. I just need to check one thing here. Okay, that's good. Okay. And it's the radio show about video marketing madness with Ray, the video guy, and I'm Steve Sleeper. A couple of updates here, and Ray and I were talking about it before the show. This morning, I woke up to one of my clients' YouTube channels being suspended. And I sort of, when I got done hyperventilating, I called Ray, and he said, I've had that happen on 4 of my channels. Appeal it. And within the hour, I listed what I was doing, the links I was putting in there. I read the community guidelines very carefully. I wasn't violating anything. I mean, it was right within the rules, and it wasn't even an hour. They said, "Oh, okay, well, you weren't violating anything, so here's your channel back." And
something wacky was going on at YouTube, because I had I had the exact same issue. I came in, mine was about a week and a half ago. I came in and 4 channels got the same messages, and I'm freaking out. One of them they reinstated without me even appealing. All of a sudden, I got a thing saying, "Hey, we checked your channel, and it's not violating anything." Which was good. That was a client channel, so I was really glad about that. Wow. I appealed the other 3, and within, literally 5 minutes, all of them were redone. And I heard rumor that other people were going through the same thing. Apparently, there was some sort of change at YouTube. There were, my guess is it's probably bots that are just flagging channels or something.
Yeah.
And
it's got to
be. They're realizing, our system is not picking the right videos or the right channels to kind of kill. And I'm sure they're not telling anybody usually, because they're like, hey, you know what? We got lots of channels on here, and maybe they won't notice. And if they don't notice, they don't care. We don't care either.
Here's something else that happened too. Yesterday, Joey Franks, our good friend there in Jackson, Mississippi, attorney Joey Franks, the big man. I uploaded a video for him, and then he forwarded me an email and said, we deleted your video because it violated community guidelines. and he sends it to me. Well, I go there, it's not deleted, but it is de-indexed. And so I deleted the video, made some changes, uploaded it again, and it was fine. So something's going on at YouTube. I don't know what
there was rumor that they were going to be doing a lot of purging, and that was
inactive accounts and stuff.
Anything that even closely violates or inactive account, anything to get rid of a bunch of stuff that shouldn't be there, or
free up room on the servers, I guess.
I guess so. The servers to $2 trillion company can be pretty expensive, I guess.
Oh, sure. Now, the other thing that happened is I got a notice from YouTube, and I don't know if it was somebody put it together or it was just auto-generated. I'm going to lean on auto-generated, but it showed 9 videos, in a row. It said, which one would you click on if we recommended these videos? And 8 of them were mine, and one of them was Virtual Railfan. And Virtual Railfan uses kind of gaudy thumbnails. I mean, actually, when I say gaudy, it sounds like a bad thing. It's just exactly what you recommend to do. And I looked at that and said, oh, my thumbnails are, you can't even read what's there. I really wasn't putting much into them. And so I did a gaudy borax thumbnail, and I don't say this is a bad thing, but with arrows and big yellow letters and even a starburst, Ray. I put a starburst in it.
Ooh, I like it.
Yeah, thank you. And then I thought, well, I'm going to do a test. So I did what I've noticed with the promoted videos is that I also get a lot of I not only get that promoted video thing, but I also get a lot of recommendations too, where they, YouTube does you might like this video.
Yep.
And the thing that I learned is they'll recommend videos, but it's up to the viewer to pick the one they want to watch. That's what they were saying. And so, okay, you're shaking your head yes, so I'm not saying anything out of line. And so I did the gaudy thumbnail, and I got 1, 2, 3 times the views off recommendations. So
yeah, if you think about it, that's what they're, even if they're not, in your case they were surveying you, but they're doing that same test all the time. Think about when you get to the end of a video and they show those 9 videos on there, right?
Yeah.
Which one did you click on? Well, they're testing to see which of those 9 you're going to click on.
Mm-hmm.
And you click on the one, they're going to be like, okay. Every time on the side of the videos, and you get that list of videos on the right-hand side, which one are people going to click on? They're looking for that kind of stuff. Which one grabs people's attention? So it's very important.
Here's something else that happened this month, and this is probably why it's good to look at your analytics from time to time. I normally get 100 hours a month. How many hours do you need in a year now? Is it
3,000? Yeah,
3,000 to get monetized. I normally get 100 a month, so I'm not going to get there. I was looking at it this month, it jumped to 350. And so I'm going, cool. Now, does that mean I'll get monetized? Maybe. Does that mean I'll make a lot of money off of it? I don't know, but you got to get monetized first. And it was just interesting to note that I just got a big jump. Here I am, a year and a half into it. I'm learning all the time, and all of a sudden I get 3 times the hours. So we'll see if that continues.
Well, that's good. Hey, that's what we all need. It's tough. I mean, I've been, and if you're a part of the YouTube mastermind group, that I've been kind of talking about a channel that I created, which I'm building au natural, which is, yes. I am not doing any crazy things. Although in the last meeting we had, I did talk about how you can kind of boost that system without, by spending a little bit of money. And I was actually going to do it, but I never was able to because my credit card kept getting rejected, and not one, but like every card I tried kept getting rejected when I was doing it. Which you've dealt with that before with them, Steve, haven't you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm sitting there with this weird look on my face and shaking my head like, oh God, you too. That happens to me a lot. Yeah.
Well, they have a message right at the top of their page when you go to buy. if your card gets denied, so something weird's going on with that. But mine's been getting denied and I used to buy a bunch of stuff from them. So it's the same cards that I've used in the past. It's not like it's new ones. And it's one that they've used before, but I keep getting, it says, oh, couldn't process. So not sure exactly why, but I haven't.
It's got to be a glitch. It happens to me from time to time. Now, it's going to happen to you more because you have a lot more activity on YouTube than I do. But nonetheless, I'm uploading 7 videos a week. So it's not like I'm a wannabe. I'm a wannabe videographer,
but building these things, when you talk about the watch time, I mean, I've got 54 hours so far out of the 3,000 that I need. So,
but this is a new channel. It's how to do everything we talk about on the show all the time, really.
Yep. And the great thing is it's considered, if you get about 100 subscribers in your first month, that's considered to be pretty good. I ended up with just over 300.
Okay.
So, 300 subscribers in less than a month is pretty good. Again,
absolutely
not doing anything out of the ordinary, just kind of trying to put out content. And I've kind of failed this past week because we've been so incredibly busy getting some other things going.
Yeah.
I felt bad about that, but I've got to get some new content on there. But the one that I just did is doing okay, considering I haven't put any promotion into it whatsoever. So
how I could tell you were busy is you weren't in Facebook Messenger. Whenever you got that shut off, you're busy. Yeah. So little.
Oh, I didn't have it shut off.
You didn't? Active. You weren't active in it. So it means your phone was sitting there and you were off doing something else.
Yeah, it always says, it's surprising. It usually always says I'm active because I've always got it open on my computer and stuff. But
not important.
Been a crazy busy week. Computer issues, all sorts.
Which your son fixed for you.
He did, and you got
to be proud of the boy.
I did a little live video about that, for his little business that he's trying to get started. And the funny thing is, he fixed it in, I'm not joking when I say, 2 minutes it was fixed. But and you think, that sounds like you're going to plug it in, dummy. It wasn't anything like that. It was something you could have given me a year. I never would have begun to figure out what the heck was going on. And he was able to fix it in a minute because you had to turn the computer off and turn it back on and hold certain keys. And then a menu came up and then you had to do this, and he's like, did you have a power outage? I was like, yeah, we had a power outage and we had a pretty good one. And that, basically what he said was it messed with the BIOS. And I don't even know what a BIOS is really. I've heard the term. I don't know what the heck.
Yeah, I know what it is.
It messed with the BIOS. So the BIOS was now trying to boot off of a non-existent drive.
Yeah. Okay.
So he had to rehook it up to the right one, and then it all worked. And I never would have even begun to. I wouldn't even know where to.
I wouldn't know
what the problem would be, let alone fix that. So even if somebody told me exactly what it was, I don't think I could have fixed that. So I know I couldn't.
Why don't we move on? Why don't we move on to the content for the show today? Although everything else we've talked about is valuable information, but how to do YouTube business interviews and little background. There is a lady at our church that my wife and I are real good friends with. She's got 6 kids and she's homeschooled all of them. A couple of them are, one of them's in college, one's out of college. So she's got everywhere from 23 to 5 or 6, something like that. I'm close. And she asked me, what's the easiest way for me to interview other homeschool parents? I'd like to do an interview program along those lines.
Homeschooling, it's not just for crazy people anymore.
Yeah, it's not just for, her kids are very well socialized, by the way. And so I said, well, the easiest way is going to be an audio podcast. It really is easier than YouTube. But then I got to thinking about it and I thought, but I have no clue how to promote an audio podcast. I mean, people tune in to Video Marketing Madness because it's you. They know it's you. They see it pop up on Apple Podcasts. They listen to it. North Omaha History Podcast. It's because this guy promotes it. You know what I'm saying? I don't do any promotions. Sure. But YouTube, I do know how to promote. And I think the promotion part of it's a lot easier than podcasts. So I
Well,
said,
you know
right,
what the number one podcasting platform in the world is, right?
YouTube,
Yeah, it's YouTube.
YouTube.
Or
Yeah.
at least they say it is.
And I told her about the podcasting thing.
I think that's mostly because of Joe Rogan, but you know, that could
Yeah,
be.
well, yeah, that could be. So I said, let's do a program on everything you need to do to be able to do business interviews. So software, hardware, etc. And Ray thought that was pretty cool. So take it away, Ray.
All right. Well, here we go. No, so the big thing here is, you know, there's a lot of different ways that you can do these types of interviews. And in her case, you know, she wants to do kind of what we're doing right now, which is just over the internet talking back and forth. I mean, I assume she's not going out there and meeting people in person most of the time.
It's going to be remote.
Internet.
And I told her about the software you have called Mimo Live. And you know, that she probably which is Mac only, but she's probably going to want a software that has a little better resolution than Zoom, which we use to record the podcast, and we stream it live on YouTube, but it's mostly for recording the podcast, and it's easy. But for what she wants, I think she wants something with a little better screen resolution. So,
sure,
you know,
I get that.
Something like that, the webcam, the mic, etc.
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, there's a lot of good options out there for that. Now, obviously, you know, the good thing is for something like that, you know, people they're not looking for this super high quality video. They're looking for the information and the content. They don't care if it's, you know,
as long as the audio.
Yeah. As long as they can understand it and they can see what's going on, you know, it's okay. So you know, you got to really think about what you're doing. And by the way, you don't need to start today with, you know, a $10,000 camera. You know, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Well, let me ask you this. Would you use a webcam?
Yeah, I probably would for the most part.
Logitech C20 or whatever the upgraded version is.
That's the one that I've had for
Me
that's what I'm using
too.
right now. But
Yeah.
I will tell you there's and you guys catching me off guard here for one thing, because there is a new camera that is absolutely amazing web camera. And of course, I can't think of the name of the darn thing now. So now I'm trying to search it up quickly, but giving myself away. Here it is. I found it.
Oh, good.
There it is. That was easy. The Opal. That's what it was. The Opal C1. I knew it was like C1 or something like that.
OPAL?
OPAL, like the car.
Like the car.
Or the stone.
Yeah.
So the Opal C1 is, I mean, it's an incredible web camera, like beyond anything that, you know, I've ever seen before. I'll tell you right now, the best webcam that I have is not the C920. It's not the, I've got a Movo webcam, which is a 4K fantastic webcam. I've got my Mevo camera, which is the live streaming camera and all that. The absolute best camera that I have for live streaming is my iPhone. There's none of them even come close.
Right. But you got to have software interface, and it's a little more complicated, isn't it? Or what?
Well, it depends. I mean, nowadays on a Mac, just by having your phone near your computer, it'll automatically do all the work for you. But the Opal C1 is, it's I haven't used it yet. I haven't ordered mine yet. I keep saying I'm going to order it, and I haven't yet. But it's the quality of the iPhone are better. And you can throw like a Samsung phone in there, same type of thing, with a much bigger lens for light and everything. And it just, people are absolutely blown away by this thing. It's actually made by a bunch of people that they left Apple to do this particular project. I think they left Google too. There's a couple companies they left for that. I think it was mostly Apple. And I think right now, I think it's only compatible with Macs right now. That'll change. That'll change.
She might be PC.
Yeah. I wouldn't recommend her jump into that right away. Anyway,
all right.
It's not a crazy expensive one, but it's like $250, which for a webcam is expensive.
Would you recommend the Logitech C20 then? C920?
Yeah, the C920. I don't even know if they I think they still have that. I think when I was in Office Max the other day, they did have that one. And there's also the C922, which is kind of a similar one. But, you know, any webcam nowadays is going to be pretty good. and definitely good enough for what she's doing. And if she's got her phone, there's ways to use your phone for that too.
Okay.
So I wouldn't go too crazy about that. But there's different types of video that you could be doing. So for instance, in her case, that would be how she's doing it, just a direct interview like that. When I'm doing things for software and stuff, that's how I do it. I'll get whoever's made a particular piece of software on, and we'll do it back and forth talking about program and everything else. And then if I'm doing stuff for local businesses around here, I actually go over there and I interview them directly. Like I pick up my stuff and I go to their business and I interview them.
Right.
You can do it that way as well. There's definitely multiple ways to skin a cat. That there, we want a little bit better quality than a low frame rate web camera. So I do. And for those, I just use my iPhone.
Yeah.
And I've got a little tripod. I don't have a little tripod. I got a beast of a tripod that's, by the way, older than most people that'll listen to it. Well, I don't know. It's about 30 years old, the tripod that I have.
Yeah, well, that's not right. I mean, those are the best.
Yeah.
Now here's what I do when I do interviews, and I've got the Samsung, it's good camera though. Samsung C920 Galaxy 9, whatever. No, Galaxy C21 or something. Anyhow, I'm bad with serial numbers, obviously.
21 sounds right. The 23 is the brandy new one. So
yeah, and I'm probably going to have to do that one pretty soon. But what I do is I put it on a tripod. I just have it pointed at them. I'm not on camera with them, and I ask the questions, and then I figure it out on the back end. I'll do something like, "Hey, I just asked them," and then I cut to that. I'll have me on camera. But bottom line is when I'm doing the interviews, I don't have me standing next to them. And I've tried that. It looks kind of weird. So I just have them. Hopefully that made sense.
And if you really want to have your mind blown, and Steve, I know you've seen this one already before, but you could have with your smartphone, or at least with the iPhone. And again, I can't vouch for any of the other phones, but you got cameras on this side, you got cameras on this side.
That's right.
There is a great piece of software.
You've got cameras on both sides for those listening to the audio. You can shoot with the screen side and see yourself, and that's the advantage sometimes.
No, forget that. That's amateur stuff. Come on. I'm talking about, there's a program now. There's a company called Filmic Pro that does professional video camera stuff for your iPhone. I think they have an Android version as well. And it will allow you to shoot them using the front cameras and you using the back camera at the same time.
Wow. So
you can shoot both of you. Now you pair that with the Movo dual mic, which you've seen the dual mic, right, Steve? It's the little mini shotgun microphone with a mic on both ends. So it looks like a little barrel shotgun mic, but on each end is a microphone, and you can record you from one end, them from the other end, them from the front camera, you from the back camera. And now you've got both of you being recorded at the same time as you do the interview. So you could do a back and forth if you wanted to. Yeah, so think about that.
I've got that Movo dual shotgun. It works pretty well.
Oh, do you? Oh, I didn't realize you had one, but yeah, it's pretty cool.
What I found with the train stuff is the mic the built-in mic worked better. But when I'm doing interviews, the shotgun mic works a lot better. So that's what I use.
Good.
Yeah. I didn't think about the Filmic Pro thing. I should try that. I don't do a lot of on-site interviews, but it would be a lot easier to shoot both at the same time. So good idea.
Yeah. And it's a lot of fun. You can do some cool things with that, but there's a lot of neat things you can do. The webcam stuff is great. The going out and interviewing with the camera is great, and doing the dual interview like that. And the dual interview, usually that's like, the best things for that is like when you're doing a podcast style situation where you're sitting across from each other, that kind of a thing.
Right. Which I don't know that she's going to do a lot of, but it's worth noting, believe me. Now, let's talk about mic, because we talked about camera. What microphone would you recommend? Now, I've got this Audio Technica $100 mic. I forget the serial number on it because I could never remember serial numbers. but I've got to be right up next to the mic. I mean, if
really?
I mean,
Is it a lapel mic or is it or you're talking about the mic right in front of you?
Yeah, the mic right in front of me.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
my skin is on the mic basically. And because otherwise it starts pixelizing. Now, if I do that, it sounds fine. It sounds like a professional mic. The only thing I don't like about it is it picks up a little bit of the peas popping, but nobody else hears that. It's just me. But the problem with that is, are you going to remember to do that? Is that something you can discipline yourself to do? For me,
Yeah.
I can't, because I'm an old radio guy. I probably, for the average person, would want something a little easier to use.
Yeah, for my money, what I would get for somebody like that is the Yeti is always a good one. The Movo UMC 700, which looks and functions very, very similarly to the Yeti.
Cheaper. It's cheaper.
It's a little bit cheaper. Like $20 cheaper or something. But
still, well, the Yetis are in store too.
That's true. Yes, you can walk into Best Buy and you can pick up a Yeti.
What's the? In fact, if you look behind me, there's a Yeti sitting back there.
There is. I see it.
It's a blue.
Yes,
Yeti.
a blue. In fact, do you have two of them?
I got two of them.
One's back there.
One of them I was using, and one of them my church was using. No, one of them I was using, and the other one Radio Talking Book was using, and then that whole initiative ended. So I just brought it home.
So if you need one quick, you can go to Best Buy. I think even Walmart, has the.
You know what? I could give her one of my Yetis too, and I'm not using it as long as I have
one in the back. And in fact, I've got it separated because I used to have it on a boom, so I don't have the stand attached to it, and I can't remember where I put the stand now, so it's packed away somewhere. So I've got the Yeti and no stand.
I've got the little stand that comes with it, and
that's what I'm saying. I've got it packed away somewhere, but
it works just fine. So okay, so
it's excellent. It's excellent.
I'll give her my blue Yeti because that'll work.
Now, if you want a good combination, the microphone that I mentioned, or the webcam that I mentioned earlier, Movo has a great combination professional microphone, webcam, and ring light in one package. So it's a good big round unit. So it's a good sized unit, and it's got a light around it. So I mean, obviously it's meant for people in a small place, that need a light right in front of them. But it's got a little ring light on it that'll shine on you. It's got a 4K camera. And it's got a professional microphone.
So obviously, no matter what you do, you got to have some sort of ring light. I've got just a small one on me right now.
Yeah, I've got one up here. I'm not using it right now, as you can tell if you're watching. But I do have one right here.
And there's plenty of them at Best Buy. Just go and look at the one that seems most comfortable to you.
Walmart's got some nice little ones too. You only need a small one. They've got
all you need. Mine's a little one. It's not the great big one that the camera fits inside of. How much is that Movo combination though? Do you know?
I want to say I think it was either 100 or 149
for the whole thing.
I lied. Hold on, because they got different versions. They got an HD version. They got a 4K version. I of course have the 4K. The HD version is only $49, and
the HD is $49.
Yes,
and that includes the mic, the ring light, and the camera.
That is correct. And they make a few different versions. They make a version without the ring light. They make a version. So they make a few different versions of it. And of course, I'm seeing the $49 one, and I'm trying to figure out how to find the price of the more expensive one.
Well, she'd probably just go with the HD one. That'd be all she needs. But
it's a great microphone. Great little camera.
I've always been real happy with everything Movo.
My only issue that I've had with that particular one is, for me, but with a lot of things, that's the case. It's a wide angle, so it's a little bit wider than normal.
Right. Okay. All right. Now, I think I got two. You ever have something you're talking, it interrupts your train of thought, and it has something to do with what you're talking about, but you got to take a step back.
Yes, of course.
I've got two Logitech C20s. I can give her one. Yeah, one of those too. I think.
Yeah, I do too. Actually, I've got this one. I've got another one in the closet because I used to do two different angles.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I
all that
remember
kind of
when we
fun
did
stuff.
that.
So
Yeah. Okay. So I got her covered on the camera and the microphone, but I can't do that for everybody. So listen up, everybody. Now, as far as streaming software, where she'd be okay with Zoom?
yeah, I think for what she's doing, Zoom would be okay. It'd be good enough, and you can do a lot more with Zoom. We're not doing much with Zoom. We're just doing a
I
meeting
know.
and going. But I
But
know
we stream live. I use it to
yeah.
record the pod. I mean, it does
We're
what
not
I
doing
want it to
fancy
do.
graphics and all that kind of
Oh,
stuff. But
you could put
do all sorts
graphics
of
behind you. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, you can.
Chad Nicely used to do his weekly interview stuff with Zoom, and he had the graphic on this. You'd have both people on the screen and the logo and all that kind of stuff. So you can do that in Zoom. There's a lot of different softwares you can do that with, and the one that I use is that Mimo Live, which is probably overkill for most people. I mean, it's I don't want to say it's a complex software. You can figure it out pretty easily, but it's a very lots and lots and lots of things in it that you can do. It's almost overkill for most people who'd go, whoa, that's a lot of stuff.
Well, here's my with Zoom. I think for what she wants to do, it's fine. It is letterbox. That's the only thing. Whereas Mimo Live is full screen. It looks like a CNN set. You know what I'm saying when I say full screen? It fills up the screen instead of being a letterbox.
Yep.
And you can make it look like it's CNN. Like the CNN anchors interviewing Joe Biden.
Yep. No comments.
Yeah, no comments. And it's got a crawler on the bottom and all that kind of good stuff. But in her case, she could get by with Zoom. Okay, cool.
Yep. And if she wants to get a little more advanced, OBS is a great software, totally free.
Yeah.
It does take a little bit more.
It is advanced. I figured out how to do it, but it is advanced to use every time. There are, for instance, I was going to, my pastor, I do a lot of things for the church. This is how I kind of figure things out. They're my guinea pig. My pastor does a Friday morning Bible study, and I was going to do it OBS, and he's got my webcam. I can just grab that. Okay. I was going to use it just OBS and a webcam, and it's pretty easy just to stream directly. Okay. He could not figure it out because you got to put in a different key each time. You got to do, you got to do 2 or 3 things. And I said, you know what? Just use your phone. It's a lot easier. So OBS, and then to do what she would want to do, OBS, it's doable. You and I can figure it out, no problem. But I hate to tell somebody.
I've used it many times. But OBS is great. But of course, I don't use it much just because I'm using other software tools. But
right.
But StreamYard is another one that
Let me say that OBS Studio is free. It's shareware. You can get it to do just about anything you want it to do, including doing interview type programs. You can kind of get it sort of to look like a CNN news set.
You can. People that are good at it can make it do amazing.
It can do a lot of amazing things. I played around with it enough to make it do it. Now, how am I able to figure it out? Well, I guess I'm just kind of predisposed to figuring those things out. I've just got a talent for it, but I don't give up until I figure it out. I could be sitting there 6 hours later and still working on it. And I figure it out. I just always ended up figuring it out. So I want to be careful when I recommend stuff to people is, how much time do you want to spend figuring it out, or you just want an out of the box solution? But OBS is great for that. You're right.
If you want an out of the box solution, check out StreamYard. It's going to cost a few bucks, but it's going to do some great things. It's very easy to use. Our good buddy Owen, that's what he uses for all of his streaming is StreamYard. He highly recommends that. So great program.
How much is StreamYard a month? Do you know?
No, I'm not sure. I don't think it's overly priced.
I think Zoom I'm paying like $16 a month or something.
Yeah. None of them are very expensive. So, and you can start for free, of course.
Yeah. Okay. So StreamYard.
It looks like $20 a month for the basic,
right.
and then $39 if you go for the professional version. And
Yeah. Okay.
The professional one lets you do webinars and everything else too. So
I think we've covered how to do it. I mean, she can talk. She can interview people. She would do a good job with that. Um, she looks good on camera, all that kind of stuff. Um, so I guess the next part of it would, and hopefully I'm not missing anything, but the next part of it would be building an audience, right?
Yeah, that would be the next
Yeah.
part.
Yeah.
So how do you build an audience? Well, I mean, again, that can be a little bit more difficult depending upon what you're trying to do. Do you have any kind of audience to start with? Do you have an email list? Do you have, contacts that you can reach out to? Is the content that you're putting out there something that people are going to be searching for? So you may want to do some research and see. If you don't have people that are searching for it, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. So you're going to have to put a little bit more effort into reaching out to people, contacting them, making sure they know it's there, using social media. I mean, whatever it is you can do to kind of get people's attention. And that can be, that can be a lot of work. Be a lot of work.
Now, which is basically what I did when I decided to do the train channel. Well, first of all, the wife said, you got to get out of the office. You got to quit working so much. I don't want you sitting there in the office. Even when you're in there just putzing around in your office, I don't want you there. I want you getting out. You got to figure out a hobby where you're not in the house. I work out of home. So I thought, well, geez, I used to do, train spotting when I was a kid. I'll just go out and do it again. They call it rail fanning now because of the movie about meth called Train Spotting, just FYI. So, but what I did is what I noticed is there's all kinds of rail fan groups out there. So I got into each one of them. I got involved in them, and I started answering questions. I started sharing photos. I started doing all this and that.
Joining groups is a big way to get a lot of. Yep.
And then I started running into people when I was out rail fanning. So I'd introduce myself and, say, hey, what's your YouTube channel? I'll subscribe. You subscribe to mine. I even met the head of Steam, the Steam locomotive program for Union Pacific. And another guy that was with them, that was an assistant with Union Pacific. They used to listen to me years ago on the radio, like in the 70s or something. So they're fans now, and that was kind of cool. But just networking and most, I'm going to tell you, most of the networking has been social media, but boy, I really worked that. And then people are searching on that kind of thing. My best performing video has got 6,000 views. I mean, that's nothing compared to, what some people get. But, I've got a lot of videos with above 1,000 views, and my average video gets 100 views. Now, I would do this no matter what, because of the joy of just being out there and rail fanning. But, to get an audience, it's kind of cool. Now, am I going to get a huge audience? Well, there's some guys out there doing kind of what I do with more of a shtick than what I have, that get 50,000 views of video. So it's possible.
Got to get out there and put the work in,
Yeah. And I mean, I knew what I had to do to get 50,000 views. I just didn't want to do it. I just wanted the joy of the hobby, but you know what I'm saying here. So,
yeah, absolutely. It takes time. It takes effort. Even some of the big channels, like we talk about the Nerve Doctors a lot, and they had a channel for years. They're putting videos up there for years without any. I mean, when I joined them, I think they still only had like 100 subscribers, and they'd been putting videos on and off for a couple of years at that point. And they wanted to become authorities, and that's now they're pushing on 250,000 subscribers and bringing in monthly income and everything else just from their channel. So it's just takes some time. Takes time and effort.
I think what you did to help get them there was optimize their channel, optimize their videos, coach them on some things they needed to be doing. And so that really helped. And
consistencies and other, all that kind of stuff.
And then you have a secret formula for getting monetized once you get to the point where you're getting a lot of views. So
didn't use that with them.
You did not?
No.
Really? I thought you did.
Nope.
I'm not giving that away either. I'm holding that one in my hip pocket. But yeah, I did not.
Yeah, no, we just did it. We just did it, naturally, just because
naturally, organically.
they already had had a growing audience, and But it took a
well, but here's the deal. And before I go any further, and so I don't forget, they're making $15,000 a month off the YouTube revenue share because of all the things Ray did for him. And hopefully I'm not hyping that too much. But you got it so that people could find them. I mean, that's the other thing you consulted with them, and not just the optimization, but titles, tags, descriptions to use so that people will find them. And there's a lot of people out there with neuropathy that are looking for videos to help them out. Me too. And I just bought some compression socks the other day from the nerve doctors that are pretty nice.
Nice.
Nothing says old man like compression socks. I wore them proudly with shorts, they come up to my knees.
The black ones?
Yes. I don't care anymore. Some people were looking at me at the C-store the other day like, yeah, okay. But, when you get to be an old man, you don't care. You just don't care, anymore. So, but that is that. And I think getting back to Emily and what she wants to do, I think she's pretty well networked within the.
Well, I can guarantee you every city has a homeschooling Facebook group out there, whether may or may not be active, but I guarantee that every city's we've got one here. We're not a big city. We've got one because my wife was in it, doing different things.
Loganville population, what, 25,000?
No, not even close.
Oh, really? What is the population?
We're about 14,000.
Where did I get 25? Was that Snellville that was 25?
Snellville's closer to 20. It's their little,
maybe that's where I got it. But anyhow, Snellville is the Dr. Seuss town next door.
Yes.
So that Ray had an office there at one time. So
that is true. All the
that's impressive. Yes, she could really work those Facebook groups. You can't get in there and promote though. You got to get in there and share. So
yep.
I mean, I get views off my videos, but I just say, hey, I had a fun day here in Fremont, Nebraska, and I post the link.
And I will tell you, YouTube has that new promotions that you can buy into. I've been impressed. Now, have I gotten what they said I would get with it? Not exactly. Like you put $200 into promotion, and it's a little different. It's not like running ads. It is different, but they tell you, oh yeah, you're going to get 800 to 1,000. No, the one that I put $200 into did not quite get that from that. When it was over, it had it reached almost 700, and so.
But this is about Google stuff too. You kind of theorize that maybe since it was about them that they weren't.
Well, it will. The idea is that hopefully the way that it's being done will benefit you later with other videos. Because you're getting into places where people will pay attention to you, and by them paying attention to you, you're going to get into those places without paying for it later. It's kind of the idea.
What's been good for me, by the way, there's a promotions tab in your YouTube studio. You go to YouTube Studio Content, and there's a promotions tab there. You know what I spend on each video? If it only gets like 50 views, if it doesn't get to 100 views, it seems like it either gets 50 views or it gets 150. So if it's only at 50, I run $10, and it goes.
Really? Wow.
It goes.
The smallest I've done is like 50.
Yeah, well, I tried 50 and it seemed a little bit like overkill. And so I use $10 and it builds. I get a lot. I get, I don't know, 20, 30 subscribers each time. Because I got that.
I may have to try that. I mean, just do that to take all the videos and put $10.
I think it's somewhere between 10 and 30.
They'll yell at you, oh, you're only going to get this, spend more money. But
well, yeah, they do, but I just go 10 and then I get a couple hundred views, and probably 40% of those are YouTube recommendations. So
that's the idea. That's
the cool thing about it. But also when you're building your promotion, it's going to give you a little snapshot of what it's going to look like, and it's got a subscribe button there on your video. So that's pretty
that's the goal, is they're trying to build you up and in different ways, because I've said for a while, and if you look on YouTube and you look up some of the other YouTube experts and things like that, and they'll tell you the same thing. It's not about search anymore. Yes, search is great. Don't abandon it. But some of our big channels that have hundreds of thousands of subscribers, in some cases 90% of the traffic comes from the recommended videos and being on page 1 and all that, not from search. Search is comprising less than 10%.
Well, and I don't get a whole lot of views from subscribers either.
We get somewhere close to 50%. So if we put out a new video and it gets, let's say we put out a new video and it gets 100,000 views, 50,000
50% are subscribers. Well, then it's that audience.
45 to 55.
It just depends on the audience then, whether you're going to.
Absolutely. Our audience is very loyal, because it is
loyal and active. The trained people kind of watch them on whims,
they're just for fun and
for fun. So now I do have probably 10 people that always watch my videos, and I always watch their videos, you know what I'm saying? But otherwise, okay. I think we got everything covered. One thing I if you're going to set up a YouTube channel, there are programs here on Video Marketing Madness on how to set up your YouTube channel. Just kind of search, kind of just scroll through and you'll find them. But you got to set it up properly. You got to optimize it properly. You need to verify it, and then you need to verify it for backlinks as well. And Ray and I go through that on a number of Video Marketing Madness podcasts. Emily, I will help you do that.
It's funny how much they run you through. Oh, you gotta do this. Oh, now you gotta do this. Oh, you want to do that.
But wait, there's more.
Pretty soon there's gonna be 20 levels. Oh, now we gotta come and have dinner at your house and make sure that
now you need to tap dance in the street in the rain.
Kind of like Google business profiles, which, by the way, before we go out of here, just a funny story. I have a client who, he was in one place and he moved to a different place. Okay. For his business
address.
He says, we're moving location. I said, okay, great. I said, what's the address? Well, he gave me the business address, which was his house.
Oh no.
Not the place he moved to.
Oh no.
So here's the cool thing is, I went into Google business profiles. I changed the address. They didn't even question it. They just changed it.
Really?
Didn't ask for a card, didn't ask for anything. But then he's like, oh, yeah, that's my house where the business is located, like the office, but the business is at this address. I'm like, oh. So of course I tried to change it again, and immediately it made me want to have to verify.
Yeah.
So I said, well, I'm going to have to, they're requiring me to send a card to you. Well, we can't get mail there. The mail goes to my house. So all this time, which is fine. He still does well with his Google profile. It's just the address has his house, whatever, the type of work he does, it's not a huge deal for him, but it'd be better if it had the right address.
Yeah.
So
it would.
He finally is like, hey, I got a mailbox. We can send it now. I said, great. I go in to have them send another postcard. Now they want to verify with the picture instead and the video of the business. I'm like, if I hadn't done that, we could have done that a month ago, but they were asking for the postcard. And so I hadn't been back in. And now when they finally had the post box, we go in there. Now they just want to do the video thing.
Yeah.
So, all right, you got to put up a sign. You got to make a video. So
I've been through stuff.
Want to verify everything.
Now,
and what's crazy is that, with YouTube, what drives me nuts with them is you can have all these channels. You can have as many channels you want. You can have channels on everything, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, but they won't let you verify by phone more than 4 times.
Right.
Per year. Well, that's crazy.
Oh, hey, I got some news stories here we can get through quickly. I forgot
Oh,
about these. Google launches new AI tool to improve YouTube ad optimization. Have you heard about this?
does it show Mickey Mouse trying to
Google Ads has launched a new feature to assist advertisers known as creative guidance. This innovative tool is now available through recommendations and has been integrated into video analytics with Google Ads. So,
nice.
and that's in search engine land. I'll put the URL in the description.
Gotta love AI. Have you used AI in Photoshop yet, Steve?
No. I'm not a Photoshop guy.
Oh my goodness. It's
My
like
wife does all my Photoshop stuff for me.
it is like a completely different new product program.
Really? Wow.
Think about it this way. You got a picture, let's say you got a picture of your backyard,
Uh-huh.
and you make a square around an area of your backyard and say swimming pool. And it'll put a swimming pool in your backyard. That easy.
Wow. I'll have to tell her about it. I don't think
It's
she knows
incredible.
about that.
You have to download the beta version from Creative Suite. It's incredible. One of the things that everybody does is like, let's say you got a picture of a room,
Uh-huh.
and you zoom out of the room, and it'll create more of the room for you, like fake. It'll
Crazy.
create more room around you.
That's crazy.
It's amazing, absolutely amazing. So, yeah, AI is the way of the future without a doubt. It's amazing, some of the stuff. That still messes up, just like most imagery AI stuff does. You put a person in there, that might have 7 fingers and 2 arms attached to each other.
You say that like it's a bad thing.
Wow,
Yeah.
just depends.
Okay, search engine land. 5 new YouTube features coming soon to help creators.
Yeah.
Dream Screen, an experimental new feature that enables content creators to easily add AI generated video or image backgrounds to YouTube Shorts.
Yep.
Okay.
That'll be fun. I've been messing around with a lot of the shorts with the, where I can do that. So it'll be
and some of these things sound familiar, like we've talked about it. YouTube Create, the platform is launching a new mobile app called YouTube Create to help make video creation easier. With this app, you can make shorts or longer videos, edit, add soundtracks, captions, all that kind of stuff.
They used to have a great. They used to have a
mobile phone. Yeah, well, they used to have that editor you could use on your desktop, and they took that away.
They may have called it Creator too. There was an app, and it was years ago, and it would actually guide you through how to shoot a video.
Oh, that. No, I'm thinking of something else.
I mean, that was amazing. You said you wanted to do like a business video, and it would be like, okay, stand, and would actually show you like where you should stand and talk into the camera. And then it would tell you to do, it would guide you through exactly what to do to make a video. It was amazing.
Well, this is kind of like an editing thing for your mobile phone, for your, AI Insights. YouTube is introducing a new feature that generates suggestions based on what your YouTube audience is already viewing to help inspire your next idea.
I pay a lot of attention to that stuff, so that's really good.
Allowed, YouTube has a worldwide audience, so is introducing an AI-powered dubbing tool to assist creators in making their content accessible to viewers across the globe. So, to me, that means, I get views in India. Maybe this would make it easier for the Indian people to figure out what I'm doing. I don't know.
Most of India speaks English anyway, but
true.
There are tools that exist now, AI tools outside of YouTube, that do exactly that. They will take your video, they will get what the person is saying, and they will use an AI voice in whatever language you want.
Oh, yeah, right. Okay, that's what that is. Okay. Assist search and creator music. Content creators will be able to use this to discover the perfect soundtrack for your video. Simply type in a description of your content, and AI will recommend the ideal music, and hopefully
love that. Hopefully
they won't give you a copyright strike.
You'd be surprised how often when I'm, and I don't know if it's because I've used AI for so many things, it's like, it's kind of like when chat on a website first started showing up. Now it's like, I got to write an email or I got to call somebody, that instant gratification. But I go to places like Envato Elements and I need a song and I'm like, I got to struggle through finding the right song. And I just want to put, hey, I got a video about this. Tell me what song to use,
Mm-hmm.
So that's a really cool tool. I like that. It's good.
Okay, here's an article. It's a pretty long article. And I'm just going to give you the takeaways, how to follow Google Business Profile guidelines. And if I see, this is stuff we've known about for a while, but if I see an article in search engine land about it, that tells me things are kind of heating up. Whether they are or not, that tells me things are heating up. So, and these are things.
Google's made some changes. So I bet you this is going to be referencing some of that.
Yeah, Google Business Profiles. And if I miss anything in this article, because I'm just taking the highlights out, just tell me. But the first one is they're cracking down on virtual offices. They don't want to list them at all. So, I've got a client, I'm not going to say who he is, that has a virtual office, and we've done a lot of proof to show that he actually, we've done a lot of proof with it. I'm just going to leave it at that, and there are actual offices in there and he's got a desk there. So,
Yeah. And there's ways around that. What they're trying to do is try to avoid people faking it where they don't really have it.
Right. And he's got tons of proof and he actually has a desk there. The other one is the home-based business. They only want to show commercial properties like a storefront or an office within, an office building. They don't want to show home addresses at all. If it's a service business where you go out and meet with people, then you just say, I'm a service business and here are the areas that I service, but it won't show your address. And they're supposedly cracking down on that.
And they got to be careful with that. Like, for instance, I've got a friend here, he's got a heating and air company and he's in a commercial building, but the commercial building used to be a house.
Yeah.
So if you take a picture of it, it looks like a house. But it's not a house.
Well, it's zone commercial, so you would.
Yeah, but Google wouldn't know.
Yeah,
Google
wouldn't.
So,
okay.
They have no idea. So maybe they do. Who knows? Maybe they do know.
Yeah, exactly. The other one. I got a client ranked for DUI lawyer by putting DUI lawyer after his name. And I did that 10 years ago, and it was there up until last week, and they removed DUI lawyer. But guess what? It's still at the top of the 3-pack on page 1.
Yeah, a lot of it has to do with do they actually use that in their name or not?
Well, he wasn't.
Right. So that's what I'm saying is, if you're not, I can see where they're gonna do that.
Now, if you're the sleeper DUI defense lawyer firm and everything out there shows that, you're fine,
Yes.
But if you just did that for your Google business profile, not so much.
Yeah, like we have one chiropractor that they focus on upper cervical chiropractic. So I had her change, and some of the signs that she has,
right,
say that and everything. I had her. Well, I changed it, but we changed it in Facebook, we changed it in Twitter, we changed it in Google Business Profiles, we changed it in YouTube, so that all of them say her name, upper cervical chiropractic, and now she ranks number 1 for when people search.
Right, exactly. I'm looking through this article just to make sure I'm not missing anything, but and you can't make false claims, and the obvious stuff you can't do scams or spam, but and they're really looking at that as well. So those are the things that I remember from this article. It's a really long article, and obviously I don't want to read the whole thing, but that's kind of big. Now, what I've done with all the Google business profiles that I manage is I am putting updates in there once a week, or posts in there once a week. They're fully optimized. We have pictures of the office and the building and everything else. We're telling Google they are who they say they are. And so some folks where Google may say, well, geez, that's a Regis building. Well, Regis does have office space you can rent in some of their locations.
Sure.
It's not just
yeah.
And so we prove that he's doing the latter. We do have a business that he works out of his house.
Yep.
It's a service business, but so far so good. I mean, we've had it forever. We've done a lot of proof of he says who he says he is. But I did warn all my clients about that, what that article said. So just something to keep on.
Google's not out to try and destroy people. They're trying to make things.
I didn't feel that way this morning.
Yeah. But point being is, their job is not to destroy businesses. It's to be as accurate as possible. So just be honest and accurate and work with them, and you'll benefit. Yeah. Are they going to screw things up sometimes? Yes. Are they going to not agree with what you say sometimes? Yes. But that's their goals. They're trying to do the best they can.
Well, there was a time they would let me kind of game the system with YouTube videos. They don't let you do that anymore. I quit doing that. I really abide by the rules. Hey, I got one channel suspended this morning, and they brought it back right away when I filed an appeal. So
one of the things that they've changed now too is they've really cracked down on products and services inside the Google Business Profile. For instance, at the escape room, I can't put under the product section any of the escape rooms. They nix them, they kill them. It's a service. So I have to put it in service.
I see.
Even though to me, I sit there and go, no, I mean those individual rooms are products, but it's not a product they can buy and walk away with. So they don't put it in there. Now I have put in some of the boxed games that we sell here. And those have been fine. They haven't had an issue with that. But yeah, it used to be, the Wild West with that. We'd put every product you could possibly think of in there, because the great thing about products is you've got a longer description and pictures that you can put in for that product. With the services, you have much less text you can put in and no pictures. Right. And so, it was nice to game the system with the products, but they won't let us do that anymore.
Yeah, so I'm being very careful. A lot of my backlink channels that I built all over the place that they'd let me have forever. I mean, since I don't know, 2007, no, 9. It would have been 9. Both gone now. And they used to just turn a blind eye to it, but they don't anymore. So you really do want to toe the line. Make sure you understand all the community guidelines for Google Business Profile, YouTube, whatever.
May drive you crazy, but they are not the enemy.
No, I know. They just drive me crazy. Sometimes they feel like the enemy, but they're not. And, again, they have said they don't want to be the evil empire.
Right. Hey, heck, their logo used to be "Don't be evil."
Yeah. So, was it? Oh, I'll be darned.
Yeah. That was their actual thing at one point in time was "Don't be evil."
Crazy. Okay, buddy. Well, I think we've passed along a lot of great information. Yeah.
Yes, and in the longest podcast we've ever done, I believe, at this point.
Yeah. It's over an hour. Okay, so who helped bring this fine episode to us?
Well, of course, it's our good friends over at Movo, who make all the great microphones, as well as stands and lights and other things that you need when you need wires, when you need to put a smartphone onto a tripod. How do you do it? Well, you could go to Walmart and buy one of those really cheap things for a couple of bucks that are going to break, or you could buy the GL1 or the GL2 and do an amazing stick it on there. It's going to have everything that you need. You can get all sorts of things. They even have an entire rig, which I have sitting right over here, which has a nice metal band that goes around. You put the phone right in the middle and you've got 2 grips on it and do absolutely amazing stuff. You get the microphones, you get the lapel microphones, you've got the desktop microphones, you got studio microphones and everything in between. You can get all of that at Movo right now by heading on over to raiselinks.com/Movo. Let them know I sent you, and they'll go, who? What? Him? Hey, he owes us a review video. I remember him.
Yeah. Hey, let's hit that music.
Let's do it.